Welcome to the Sports Bros Podcast, featuring the almighty B.Live, the money man Scotty D, and your host, the head of creative, Eddy Kool. And without any further ado, here they are, the Sports Bros. Hey, what's going on, world? This be your boy, Eddy Kool, and welcome to another action-packed, fully loaded, pow, 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 episode of the Sports Bros Podcast. Episode 54, to be exact, of another episode of the Sports Bros Podcast. Yeah, as you can tell, I like to repeat things 2 and 3 times. Once again, Scotty D is enjoying his time off, so take your time, Scotty D. No rush, because you held us down. We're going to hold you down, too. And trust me, brother, we got you. We get it, all right? So we're running two wide once again. We over here running Chad Ochocinco and T.O. I don't know who's who. But anyways, I got my co-host with me, the one, the only, the almighty B.Live.
What's happening? What's going on in the world today? That is the running question. I wish I had more answers for you. But until then, we're going to try our very best to report what sports we got left. And that ain't much, but there's still there's a couple things that we still got going on. So you know what? We're going to talk about it. And as the head of creative said, Scotty D, do your thing, man. We miss you, bro. We know that you're doing your thing, enjoying your time, and we will see you very soon. For those that have any questions about that, we're respecting his privacy at this point in time, but he does bring good news to us, and so he's definitely enjoying himself and taking a break from all of this craziness. Mm-hmm. And so on behalf of him, two of us, we're going to try our very best to talk about the things that you want to hear about. Yeah, that's it. Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's it. Now, of course, we ain't gonna stall BS and lollygag gallalag no more. You like that, don't you? I did it again.
Yeah.
And we gonna go ahead and hop into the rundown. And of course, NFL should stand for never failing to deliver. I know it starts with a D, but you got it. You got it anyways. So the NFL, they never keep quiet between free agency period and everything going on. But one of the big things that passed recently is the NFL new playoff format. That's right. They said yes to 2 more extra teams in the playoffs, and that goes to 14 teams total, 7 in each conference, which means we get 2 extra games and 2 fewer buys. B.Live, your thoughts on this here?
Because a lot of people have probably read about the new collective bargaining agreement, and it's supposed to start in 2021, where you go to 17 games and all this other extra stuff, and minimum salary goes up, and all the other rhetoric that goes in the collective bargaining agreement, probably some 200, 300, 400 page situational that I'm not reading all of that. So I'm gonna let people that do their job as to research and stuff. Again, I'm a fan, but since we got a little stall in the action when it comes to sports in general, I guess they want to go ahead and pull the trigger and go ahead and start with this year's playoff, going to 14 teams, basically adding another team. Me, it's off. It's just, yeah. I'm still I'm not a fan. I've grown up knowing that if you are the number 1 or the number 2 seed, you get the rest. You get your bye week. I'm gonna tell you right now, that does not equate to being a good thing. Hey, ask the Baltimore Ravens this year. Just saying, They were the number 2 seed with the bye, and see what had happened was.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. No, I lied. Wasn't Baltimore the number 1 seed? Kansas City was the 2 seed?
Yeah, Baltimore.
Okay.
Yeah,
Baltimore was
Baltimore
the 1
won
seed.
Kansas City. Yeah, Baltimore won, Kansas
But
City 2. Yeah.
either way, y'all get my point. Y'all get my point. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Bye week might not necessarily be a good thing, but then again, like it's. I guess what they're trying to do is that they're trying to eliminate that whole, like week 16, week 17. These games are meaningless because we've
Yep.
already clinched such and such and who did it and whatnot. Not necessarily anymore. So I guess it will raise the competition level slightly, but it still seems off. The only thing that I do agree with, and a lot of people probably did not notice. Did you know that? And we mentioned this before in the podcast, but I want to emphasize this again when it comes to the new playoff format. Did you know that bye week teams did not get paid during the bye week?
I think you did mention that. Yeah.
I want to mention that again because that's crazy to me. With the new format, with the new CBA, they do get paid now. Now it's just the one team that gets paid for their day off or whatnot. But yeah, that's still crazy. Like you're telling me it was more financially beneficial for you not to be a bye team. That just changed in 2020. What?
You know what that makes me think? Like, you know what? Makes you wonder if you really think about it since you said that. Like, you look at a lot of teams, hey man, if we get a bye week, we don't get paid. Nah, I didn't know that. Yeah, we get a bye week, we don't get paid. So let's try sticking into these here playoffs in 9 and 7, and that way we get paid for that week, and then the following week, and then the conference championship. And if we go to a Super Bowl, we really get paid. I'm just saying.
It's so interesting because just looking at the structure of things, like you're going into the playoffs as a 3 seed, which means essentially you get that home game, which home revenue brings more money to the team and everything like that. Then after that, you'd go. You would end up facing either the 1 or 2 seed, but if you win, you may get another home game if you're the 3 seed, just depending on how things work or whatnot, or who does it or wherever. But it still baffles me. I get it. It's hard to pay somebody when you're not getting any revenue in. If you're on a bye week, you're not getting any money anywhere. You're not getting ticket sales. You're not getting anything like that. But I was still at the end of the day. That's I couldn't even fathom that you're not making money because you were too good. What? All right. But I digress a little bit. But as far as like the number 2 seed now playing the number 7 seed, and here's a good question.
Okay.
I didn't even think about this until just now. This is fresh off the dome, ladies and gentlemen, right here. We were already having an issue with teams winning their division and barely being at or above 500. Now you're telling me you're throwing yet another wild card team in there? Does the 4 division leaders still get the 1 through 4 seats?
Makes you wonder because let me see, you got
they didn't discuss any of that. They just basically threw in another team.
So you got North, South, East, West. So those are the division winners, and then you have the 1 wild card and the 2nd wild card. But then you got the first place. Okay, you got the first place on the bye. So they just kind of they didn't explain none whatsoever. Nothing.
Because there was always that talk about that they should restructure the playoff seeding. They should do this. It should just go by record only. Like you shouldn't be able to get the home game having the worst record because you won a weak division. You're right. And then we just sort of bypassed that and just said, all right, let's just throw another team in there.
Now, you remember when the Panthers went 7-8-1 that one year?
Yes, Lord.
And then they had a home game.
Yes, sir. And we won it.
Yeah.
And we won it.
Was it the Seahawks, right?
I think so.
Yeah, beat the Seahawks. It was a slush. The weather was bad. It was it the Seahawks? No, it was. I can't remember who it was, but I think we wound up playing the Seahawks in the playoffs as a 7-8-1 seed, and then get out of here.
I'm trying to think. Let me see if pull up the quick Google machine.
Yep. Throw it in the Google machine. Now, I just did a little research. Do NFL players get paid on bye weeks? Salary is paid weekly for the 17 weeks of the regular season and the bye week too. The salary paid these weeks is just the base salary in their contract. Players also get paid a lesser predetermined amount for both the preseason and the postseason. Yeah, and I got this from Quora.com, so I don't know how true it is, but I always wonder, do you get paid during the bye week? Just.
I'll say I remember they were talking about just the stipulations behind it and everything, and somebody mentioned that. So I think that what you just read might have been updated from now with the new CBA. But I distinctly remember that somebody had mentioned that they didn't get paid during the bye week, which like I said, bonus money goes in because you have your base salary that you get throughout the regular season, and then you get additional money per each game that you play. And so, what we were talking about earlier, the 2014 Carolina Panthers, they went 7-8-1. They beat the Cardinals in the wild card, and
all right,
it was the Cardinals, and then they lost to the Seahawks.
Okay. I just remember being at work and I'm like, man, this brother sucks. So and they still couldn't do that with the Panthers. And hey, what do you know? We one of Carolina's worst forays into the playoffs. Such an up and down season. We could have won the division at 8-8, but the division was so damn bad. We went in at 7-8-1 because I think that our lone tie. Here's a trivia question: who did the Carolina Panthers tie against for the first time ever in franchise history? The Cincinnati Bengals in that very year that B.Live talked about. Yeah, we tied the Bengals. Yep, that one. They were the one in 7-8-1. Kind of like how Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman and all that there. Yeah, but we're gonna talk about WrestleMania later on. But back to football. So this it really makes the whole playoff format interesting because we go from what we grew up with, as you mentioned, B.Live, to something completely different. And like you said, it's a classic case of, hey, here we go. We go from one team, they ain't got no business being there, to now two teams, they ain't got no business there. They can throw a monkey wrench into the whole entire playoff system. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. It might make it'll make it exciting.
I just I'm pulling up just for like I said, just as a talking point of what if that was in play this year. In the AFC, the number 7 seed would have been the Pittsburgh Steelers and Duck Dodgers in the 24th and a half century.
The playoff bound. Just imagine. You know what that would have if the current playoff format that they recently agreed to was in this past season. Go ahead and give Mike Tomlin Coach of the Year because you took a team that literally fell apart but somehow held together just enough to eke him to the playoffs.
My question is this, because that right there would have given the Chiefs an additional game to play. Does that keep them? Does that keep them from winning the Super Bowl?
That's a good question.
And that is always going to be part of that what if until the very end of time. And so, and then when it comes to the NFC, it would have been
the Rams, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, it would have been the Rams, and then let me see, who was it? Was it who was the number 2 seed? Because you had 3 teams at 13-3. The 49ers had the first round bye. Had the home field advantage. I want to say it was
because somebody had it.
I think
somebody had to buy it, and they knocked it knocked them down to like 4th or something like that.
I think Green Bay was the. See, this is what happens when you sit up in the house quarantine. Your brain stop working. This literally just happened 3 months ago, and I can't remember because
Mush.
yeah.
Your brain is mush.
But again, like it's one of those things where it might not have affected the NFC as much, but it definitely would have affected the AFC because, like I said, you'd have given the Chiefs an extra game, and that could have changed everything. Because, like I said, the Chiefs ended up winning it all.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, the 49ers made it. They were the number one seed in the NFC. They made it all the way to the Super Bowl. So it would have not necessarily affected their road to the Super Bowl because they had to play the same amount of games. It could have been a slight possibility that they would have played somebody else. But it's, again, it throws off the like who exactly that you're playing.
Mm.
Like 2 versus 7, 3 versus 6, 4 versus 5, as opposed to 3 versus 6 and 4 versus 5. So it just, like I said, it throws in an additional game. And it punishes the number 2 seed. It really does. It punishes the number 2 seed. I guess at the end of the day, like it doesn't affect the 3 or 4 seed at all. They're going to play the same amount of games. It actually punishes the number 2 seed. So I don't know. We will hopefully, like, once this COVID-19 passes over, we'll see. We'll find out. Until then,
we'll see.
That's what it is.
Yep. Until then, let me see. So I looked at the brackets right fast. So San Fran 1, Green Bay 2, the Saints 3, and the Eagles 4. So I think the Saints and the Packers may have flip-flopped because somebody lost or something happened where somebody flip-flopped. That's what happened. Somebody flip-flopped, so somebody had to play a couple extra games, and now here they are. But I can't wait to look forward to this upcoming NFL season. According to the president, hopefully we'll have people in the stands by August. But right now, it's a hold your breath and wait and see kind of thing until this COVID-19 passes. Damn you, COVID-19! While we're talking about football, B.Live, guess what happened a mere few hours ago?
Tell me about it. What happened?
Okay, so the NFL names is all-decade team of the 2010s or the 2010s or whatever you want to call it. The all-decade roster, as I had to go do some quick research right fast, so that's why we edit this stuff. So you won't hear what happened when we screw up and stuff, but we digress. I'm looking at the all-decade team roster. It's not conference-based. It's league-based over the performance of the past 2 years between 2010 and 2019. Okay, let's see. We got Tom Brady. Then we have Aaron Rodgers. At running back, we got Frank Gore, Marshawn Lynch, LaShawn McCoy, Adrian Peterson at running backs. At wide receiver, we have Antonio Brown, Larry Fitzgerald, Calvin Johnson, and Julio Jones. At the flex position, Darren Sproles. Okay, cool. Tight end, we got Gronk and Travis Kelce. Offensive tackles, we have Jason Peters, Tyron Smith, Joe Staley, Joe Thomas, Jahari Evans, Logan Mankins, Zach Martin, and Marshall Yanda, the recently retired Marshall Yanda. And at center, we had Alex Mack and Marquise Pouncey. Going over to the defensive side of things, we got Calais Campbell, Cameron Jordan, Julius Peppers, and J.J. Watt at defensive end. Holding down the defensive tackles, we got Geno Atkins, Fletcher Cox, Aaron Donald, and Ndamukong Suh, who just re-signed with the Buccaneers. Linebackers, we got Chandler Jones, Luke Kuechly, Khalil Mack, Von Miller, Bobby Wagner, Patrick Willis, holding down the linebacker spot. DBs, cornerbacks, we got Patrick Peterson, Darrelle Revis, Richard Sherman at the cornerbacks. And safeties, we got Earl Thomas, Eric Weddle, and Eric Berry. And floating around defensive backs, Chris Harris and Tyrann Mathieu. And the punters and the kickers, or specials as you call them, Johnny Hecker, Shane Leckler, Stephen Gostkowski, Justin Tucker. And the return specials, we got Tyreek Hill, Darren Sproles, Devin Hester, and Cordero Patterson. And the coaches, Bill Belichick and Pete Carroll. All right, B.Live. On this list, what happened?
overall,
yeah, what happened?
overall, whew, it's interesting to say the least. Like, I look first. I mean, you look at the premier position in the National Football League. You look at the quarterback position.
Mm-hmm.
Tom Brady, absolutely. That, as much as I hate on the man, I mean that should have been unanimous,
without question.
Yeah. So, but then I look at Aaron Rodgers. And I'm just like, man, I'm not sold. Like,
neither am I. I'm not either. But I'll let you go first.
Yeah. Like, I mean, you got Stephen A. He's a bad man. Oh, the dude's talented without question. The man is good at what he does. But you're telling me that you put a Aaron Rodgers over Drew Brees? Like, how? Drew Brees, how many times does the dude have to throw for over 5,000 yards?
4 times. 5, 10, 15, 20. Okay?
Like,
okay? So some dudes can't do that in
their entire career.
In their entire career. He did this in 4, you're going to make me go off, but go ahead and be like, but
I'm saying, shoot, well, what year did Peyton Manning retire? He retired after the 2015-2016 season? But
yes,
but I'm just gonna throw this out here. Just a couple other players that are on this list of all decade, and I mean, you're looking at all decade. I'm not seeing Aaron Rodgers. I think Drew Brees. Drew Brees got snubbed there. And then that's one of them. Another one of them that I'll throw out there. I'm not sold wide receiver. I'm not sold on Antonio Brown.
Who would you put in his place?
See, that's a good question.
Yeah, because on the snub list, there's AJ Green, okay? And this list, I found this on NFL.com, is AJ Green at wide receiver on the snub list. And also we have T.Y. Hilton and Dez Bryant.
I would make an argument for AJ Green, but here's the thing. This could be just a personal bias because I just don't like Antonio Brown. I don't like his antics. I mean, the dude on the football field is bar none. He's definitely one of the top wide receivers. And so I guess I've got to be unbiased. And when they say like just overall product on the field, Antonio Brown, yes.
Mm-hmm.
But then I look at somebody like Calvin Johnson.
Mm-hmm. Even though he had he played 9 years, right?
And I'm trying to figure out, he retired way, like, when did he, let's just go ahead and pull the thing up. The dude's a bad man without question. Calvin Johnson, I still don't understand to this day why he retired, because he was going to break all the records in my eyes. But then again, I guess that's what they do in Detroit. But,
okay, so here we go, B.Live. Megatron oh my God. I
feel like you hurt a little bit.
Okay. Number one. I don't get what's going on. I don't know why, but number one, put some respect on Drew Brees' name. All right. Put some respect on Drew Brees' name. Nothing against Aaron Rodgers, but listen, the man. All right, the 5,000 yards passing. I want our listeners to close their eyes and look at the number 5,000. That's a big old number, okay? That's a big old number. That's a big quarterback number. 5,000 yards. There have been 14 quarterbacks since what, 1984 when Dan Marino first did it? Well, since Dan Marino, there's been 14 quarterbacks to do it. including Jameis Winston. Drew Brees passed for 5,000 yards for 4 times. He did this remarkable feat. Like they say, records are meant to be broken, and there's some records that you just can't touch. You know what? I don't think no one will ever pass for 5,000 yards in their career like Drew Brees has. You know what? I'll take it back. Patrick Mahomes might do it. Matter of fact, he'll do it. But as of right now, I don't understand what's the issue with Drew Brees. Like, why is he constantly getting disrespected over and over and over again? Well, he only won 1 Super Bowl ring. Hell, Aaron Rodgers won 1 Super Bowl ring too.
I'm gonna make a slight disclaimer notice. Because of Scotty D not being on the podcast this week, you have the two of us that are both Panther fans.
Yes.
And for us to be praising Drew Brees is a lot.
Yeah.
But you cannot deny the fact of what this man has done on the field. And for him, to not be like on to put Aaron Rodgers above Drew Brees for this past decade is just it's ridiculous to me.
I got a problem with that. I got a big old problem with that. All right, so back to Megatron. Part 2 of the absolute disrespect. From 2010 to 2015, when he retired, Megatron led the league in receiving yards with 1,681 in 2011. And then 2012 is when he had that boss season where he had 122 receptions and 1,900 yards receiving. And after that, he had a 1,400-yard season. And then he had, a 1,077-yard season. And then he turned right back around and have a 1,200-yard season. So you mean to tell? Let's look at this again. Okay, so I'm okay. I'm gonna go back a little bit. 2007, okay, 600, 756. Shout out to Lower South Carolina, 756. 2008, 1,300. 2009, he might have got hurt, 984. But to close out his career, he didn't have less than like 1,077 yards.
Yeah.
To close out his career.
But yeah, that's what I'm saying, and so that it was the reason why I brought up the argument is because I wanted to make sure, like, I feel like you have to play at least half the decade to be on the all decade team. But I mean, then you turn around and you look at somebody like Antonio Brown, like two people that like Larry Fitzgerald, absolutely, he is the pinnacle of just longevity and just
once again without question.
And they put up this stat line that I think is the most amazing thing I've ever seen when it comes to a stat line. The fact that Larry Fitzgerald has more tackles than he has drops. He's a wide receiver. You're telling me he's had to go tackle a person more than he's actually dropped the pass. Like,
think about it.
That's ridiculous. I mean, Larry Fitzgerald, absolutely. Julio Jones, I don't like the fact. I don't like the fact he got 300 some odd receiving yards against us that one game. I mean, yeah, I don't like it. But yeah, I like I said, that's like, I guess at the end of the day, when you're talking about longevity and over the course of a decade in the National Football League again is something that's unprecedented. And that's why, like, even when you look at your running backs, the running backs that made the all decade team, like, I don't think any one of those four except for Frank Gore played all 10 seasons. So it's one of those things where certain things I'm looking at there, looking at the body of work and everything like that.
I think Shady McCoy, I think he 2009?
The thing about this, yeah, he played, but as far as being productive, I think there was one year where he didn't. He might have played every season. I know Adrian Peterson, I'm pretty sure, didn't.
He didn't because you remember he got suspended that one season
Yeah.
for disciplining his kids, with disciplining his child. Hey, look, I got beat with the switch. I turned out all right. Okay, okay. Controversial, hot take. Boom, there you go. Turn out all right. And then I think that was the year he tore, and then one year he tore his ACL, but then he came back and ran for like 2,000 yards.
Oh yeah, but yeah, like
Yeah.
Adrian, like I have no doubt about the 4 people that are on this list. That's without question with the running backs, wide receivers. But yeah, look, my 2 biggest ones was Drew Brees, and then I got like AJ Green is.
Wait a minute, B.Live. I'm tripping. I messed up. Calvin Johnson is on the list.
That's what I was saying. He's on the list, but the reason why I brought up his name was the fact that I wanted to make sure he at least played half the decade.
Okay, he did. Yeah.
So 2016 he retired, but yeah, like Calvin Johnson lit it up, and so. But then again, like I look at the longevity because Antonio Brown, I think he's only been in the league for what? When did Antonio Brown get in the league?
2010, 9 years.
Okay, he's played for 9 years.
Yeah, it was one of those things where it's kind of like, okay, Steelers got is like I think he really broke onto the scene 2014.
Okay, because I was like, it doesn't sound.
Yeah, because his first year he had only 176 yard receiving. The next year he had 1,100. A following year, he had another drop with only 787. The following year, he had 1,400 yards. And then 2014, he had 1,600 yards, 1,600, 1,800, 12, 15, and 12.
Okay, maybe. I'll take it back about Antonio Brown then. I'll take it back. I'll admit when I was wrong because I didn't think he was in the league that long. But yeah, they're just yeah. Them some numbers. I still don't have to like him. He an idiot.
Yeah.
He's an absolute idiot.
Another thing, I'm trying to figure out on the snub list, like why? Okay, now after looking at these numbers, like why Dez Bryant he's on the snub list? I'm like, so Dez Bryant was considered one of the best at his position. I mean, he was, but then it was kind of like.
Here's what happened with Dez Bryant. Dez Bryant on paper was a bad man. He put when on stats wise, him and Tony Romo lit up stats. It was without question. That was one of those things that still continues to plague the Dallas Cowboys as of recent. They've got playmakers. They can fill up the stats. Tony Romo is one of like I want to say throughout his career, I know he has the most yards in Dallas Cowboys history. And I want to say he's probably top 20 all time in passing yards. The man put up stats. It was just a fact.
Oh, he did.
It was a matter of when it came to crunch time. But they just like they had multiple 8-8 seasons, but led the league in offense. Like it's one of those things like. But that's the plague. That's the Dallas Cowboys. Like they have talent, they have superstars, and yet at the end of the day, just didn't. The end result never happened. So Dez Bryant was a product of filling up the stats. But at the end of the day, like he's always got that bad rap because he had the case of the dropsies. He and just big game situations. I mean, where are you?
Yeah, where you at? Yeah. There's Bryant. I'm looking at his numbers. Wow, Tony Romo probably would have been the 5th in 2012. He probably would have been the 15th quarterback to pass for 5,000 yards, but he finished the season with 4,903 yards. The classic case of Cowboys. So close. But looking at Dez's numbers. In 2011, he had 928 yards. The following year, he had 1,300, 1,200 in 2013. The following year, he had another 1,300. And that's the year 2014 where he had led the league with 16 touchdown receptions. And then after that, the bottom fell out because he got hurt. 400, 700, and 838. Yeah. So I can see, like, first of all, Dez should have made the snub list. I mean, if you give me about 5, I think, you know what, 2014 is why they made him like, hey, well, you forgot about Dez. I mean, the dude only had 3 total 1,000-yard seasons. 3 total. 3 total.
So yeah, that's what it's like. So it's one of those things where he was the best wide receiver on a mediocre team.
Yeah.
So
Cole Beasley, Terrence
right.
Williams, all of them. And look at Tony Romo's numbers. 34,183 yards. Yeah, that's slanging that pigskin, man. Slanging that pigskin. I can't pull up his all-time numbers, but I'm pretty sure top 20, top 50, maybe. Yeah. So Tony Romo is 32nd in all-time passing yards, and he got passed up by Matthew Stafford in 2017. God, Matthew Stafford, he been slinging that ball too. I think also for him, he's another guy that passed for 5,000 yards, and if he didn't get hurt, then it would be a different story about that about him being on this list for the all-time, all-decade team. But yeah, I'm along with you, B.Live. My issue is with Aaron Rodgers being on this list, and the blatant disrespect to Drew Brees. The blatant disrespect to Drew Brees. And shout out to Darren Sproles for making the team twice as a flex and a specialist.
He's that Swiss Army knife. So I can see that. I can see that. He was definitely a staple of the Philadelphia Eagles, and I mean, I say you put him in the backfield, he could run the ball, come out of the backfield. He was a decent pass catcher, and then, like I say, he was a return specialist as well. So I mean, he was a jack of all trades. So,
yep, that he was. Okay, and then there's an interesting case of, I don't want to say interesting case, but think about it. On the all-decade team, Luke Kuechly, I get it. He was good. He did his thing. And then Patrick Willis. Like, these guys put in, like, what, 5 to 7 years of working and got the hell out of town?
Yeah, so you start to see a couple of trends when it came to them picking these teams and whatnot. Like, it, because we sometimes we hear decade and we try to stretch it to an entire body of work. We try to stretch it to 10 years, and maybe we should constrict our thinking into who made the biggest impact in the 2010s. And so
that's another good way to look at it.
So I guess and that's what I'm saying. And hey, guess what? For those that are listening, you might have just heard something just now. You know, we will talk our way through certain things. A lot of this stuff we have our rundowns, so we have a script that we might follow. But then we get to talking about stuff, and then we might get to looking up, and something else might intrigue us. We change some things on the fly when it comes to this show. That's why,
real quick, baby.
That's why I love about us being unscripted. We have a rundown. We have the topics that we're going to talk about, but we don't know where we're going with this because, hey, we just fans.
That's it.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, looking at it, and just looking at the list and everything, made me really think about a couple of these players. Like, you cannot deny the fact that Luke Kuechly and Patrick Willis, both of them, when they came into this league in this past decade, you can't go throughout this past decade and not mention those two names. Khalil Mack, absolutely game changer. Von Miller can't stand his punk. Oh, my bad.
No, for various reasons.
Yeah, see, again, we're fans.
Yep.
But yeah, try our best not to take away from these guys' talent. Von Miller single-handedly won that Super Bowl for the Denver Broncos. Peyton Manning didn't win that. And that's probably half the reason why Peyton Manning's not even on this list. And I'm also want to think about him not being recognized at that point. But then again, like he retired after the 2015 season, so he didn't play the second half of the season, and then the second half of the decade. and like somebody like Drew Brees that played the entire decade, and then like I said, it's interesting. It's interesting, but
very very much so, man. And also left off the list was DeMarcus Ware.
right.
Yeah, they left him off the list too. I get it, but it's like, like his like NFL.com has him as a top 10 snub, and DeMarcus Ware was a beast. But I guess he's like, hey, but think about it. Listen to the guys we had to we just named Chandler Jones, or people that a guy that a lot of people do not talk a lot about. They do not talk a lot about Chandler Jones. Chandler Jones makes noise. People are like, oh man, Chandler Jones, like, whatever. And then I looked at the numbers and I was like, this dude pretty consistent. And then also Terrell Suggs, they left him off the list as well too. So, yeah. And then you got Cameron Wake, who did most of his damage in Miami. But before that, he played in the CFL, and that's wild. That's wild because DeMarcus Ware, he played for the Cowboys from 2010 to 2013, and then for the Broncos from 2014 to 2016. So let me read this here for you right fast. Ware recorded at least 10 sacks in 4 of his 7 campaigns during the decade. All right. The edge rusher remained a force even as he got older, hitting double-digit sack totals twice after turning 30 years old. He capped his career by earning Pro Bowl honors in 2014 and 15, and then winning the Super Bowl in the latter season before retiring after 10 games played in 2016. Although Ware didn't play the full decade, he was a premier player up until his retirement.
I don't like him either.
Can't stand him. Can't stand him.
All these guys are on the Denver Broncos, but it's all right. It's all right. But when you talk about some of the guys that got snubbed on, and we're talking now defensive ends, defensive line, Terrell Suggs, Cameron Wake, DeMarcus Ware. Who do you take off the list that made it when you're talking about Calais Campbell, Cameron Jordan, Julius Peppers, and J.J. Watt? Does J.J. Watt come off of there even though he was a 2-time Defensive Player of the Year because of his injuries?
He's still on the list.
He's on and that's one of those things where that's the only thing that you can say bad about J.J. Watt was he's injury prone. But when he's on the field, and yet he's still on the field right now, the dude was a destructive force. I mean, Cameron Jordan, again, here I go. Why they keep bringing up? They keep bringing up Broncos and Saints players right now that I'm forced to say good things about them, even though I don't want to. But no.
A Bronco, a Saint, and a Falcon walk into a room together.
No, I just heard "Nuck if you buck." I'm ready to fight somebody.
Yep. Some players on this list are debatable. The 2010s All-Decade team. There's some people like, hey, okay, I get it, and some people like, what the hell are you doing here? And then you got Drew Brees, who is getting just disrespected.
Yeah, absolutely, and that I think that's a good place to end this segment because what we want to do, we got a few things that we want to kick out to the peoples, I want to talk about that again because we want to do the Instagram Live thing again this week, right? Mm-hmm. We want to do that.
Yep. Instagram Live, 6:00. We'll go further. We want to go further, divulge more into this whole All-Decade team.
Yeah, I think that's a good time. We're doing it Thursday again?
Yes, sir. Thursday.
Right.
Thursday. Yeah, to our listeners out there, Thursday, Instagram Live, Sports Bros Podcast, Sports Bros Live, Eddy Kool, the Almighty B.Live. Come hang out with us. We talking sports.
Yes, sir.
We are talking sports. All right. And moving right along, B.Live this weekend in the world of basketball, we had something very, 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 very well-deserved and great happen. We have a whole new class in 2020, Basketball Hall of Fame, led by the trio of Kevin Garnett, Tim Duncan, and the late Kobe Bryant. Still don't sound right saying that. and the late Kobe Bryant. This announcement was made on noon this past Saturday, and I ain't got much to say. Like, I mean, all these guys, they've played long, lengthy careers. Two took similar paths. One took a different path. They all deserve it.
Oh yeah, without question. Like I would like to find the one person that has anything to say. And of course, nobody's good. They better not say anything about Kobe Bryant right now. Yeah, and I would love to find the person that could say anything bad about Tim Duncan or Kevin Garnett. That's like, and I already know one argument that's out there, and I want to punch people in the throat. I want to punch them in the throat that Tim Duncan wasn't that special. He was the model of consistency that you've never seen. Like you are going, Tim Duncan, when he got on the floor, he was going to get you 18 and 10. Yep. And that he did his job. And then he got 5 of them things on his hand. Like, and it was such a beautiful thing just watching that Spurs team. I hate it, but I love it at the same time. As the basketball enthusiast, I loved it because the Spurs just did it the right way. It was team ball. None of them were superstars. They were just the epitome of a team that came together, locked down D. Just they're gonna get their points. You got a point guard that's distributing. You got a shooting guard that's shooting. You got a power forward that's banging the paint and grabbing the rebounds. That's exactly what basketball was meant to be.
A complete team.
And that was one of those things. And Tim Duncan was part of that lineup. And it would not surprise me at the end of the day seeing that lineup with him and Tony Parker and Manu Ginobili, all of them being in the Hall of Fame because they were the epitome of a team, and they played their position at the highest level, and they all came together. And then Kevin Garnett, just man, come on, KG. Well, what was it representing Malden, South Carolina?
Yep.
Talk to him.
Malden, South Carolina. Hey, don't forget where you're from. Yes, he went to Farragut Academy in Chicago, but sometimes you got to go away for a little bit to get better in the long run. But never forget Malden, South Carolina. That's Northwest South Carolina for people that don't know where that is. So KG, let's see, 17.8 points a game, 10 rebounds. He was 2008 NBA champion, 15-time All-Star. He was the 04 MVP. He won the Defensive Player of the Year a slew of times. 25,000 points, 10,000 rebounds, 500 assists, 1,500 blocks, 1,500 steals. I don't need to say nothing else.
You got to say nothing.
The big ticket. Ain't got to say nothing else.
It's just something I just peeped real quick. Between Kobe Bryant, Tim Duncan, and Kevin Garnett, the three of them together had 48 NBA All-Star appearances.
That's a lot.
Between three players. Kobe Bryant, 18-time, 5-time NBA champion. Tim Duncan, 15-time, 3-time NBA Final MVP. Tim Duncan, 3-time NBA Final MVP, 5-time NBA champion. Kevin Garnett, 15-time NBA All-Star, 9-time NBA All-Defensive First Team. Man. And I'm just read real quick to those also that made it to the NBA Hall of Fame. 4-time National Coach of the Year, Eddie Sutton. I believe was that Oklahoma State?
He played parts of 37. He coached, He coached parts of 37 seasons in Creighton, Arkansas, Kentucky, San Francisco. But we know him, this generation, we know him most notably from Oklahoma State.
Gotcha. But And then you got 2-time NBA champion coach Rudy Tomjanovich.
Never underestimate the heart of a champion.
Yes, sir. 10-time WNBA All-Star and 4-time Olympic gold medalist.
4.
Tamika Catchings. 4 times. That's crazy.
Yeah, 4.
That's
16
years. 16 years.
Yes. Yeah, 16 years, 4 gold medals. Holla at your girl. She did that. All right, B-Live. Who else we got on this list here? We also have Kim Mulkey. You might not know who Kim Mulkey is, but okay, I'm gonna tell you who she is. Kim Mulkey. She is 604 wins, 101 losses, and 20 seasons at Baylor as women's head coach. The 3-time national championship coach with Baylor in 05, 12, and 2019. 2-time National Player of the Year at Louisiana Tech. And the numbers go on and on and on. And she is now a member, B-Live, of 8 Halls of Fame. 8.
Wow.
8.
I want to just do some quick mathematicals in my head. Kim Mulkey averaged 5 losses a season.
5.
5. That's it.
5.
20 seasons, a little over 100 losses. I was like 600 and 100, something like that. That is a statement.
604 and 101 and 10 versus 101.
That is a statement of success. That is coaching 101. To be able to rebuild and reload time after time after time again. That is something amazing when it comes to college basketball. And on top of that, you got to compete with the likes of your Connecticut's, your Tennessee's, your Mississippi States, amongst other teams.
South Carolina. Yeah.
I wasn't gonna say it. I knew you were, but I was gonna say it. But
yep. But like you said, yeah, that's 20 seasons that you got to be on your ish, on your thing. And speaking of being on top of it, Barbara Stevens, I read a little bit about her. Her record, 1,085 wins, 291 losses in 43 seasons at Clark, Massachusetts, and Bentley on the D2 level. She coached the 2014 Division II National Champions Bentley with the 35-0 record. 5-time WCBA Division II National Coach of the Year, 92, 99, 01, 2013, and 2014. 16-time Northeast 10 Coach of the Year, and on and on and on. And then 33 consecutive winning seasons for Division II record. 5 consecutive 30-win seasons from 1989 through 88-89 through 92-93.
Wow.
Woo!
This is some heavy hitters on this. There's some heavy hitters on this Hall of Fame class. Leave no doubt. So I mean, this is definitely an honor to see, especially like I said with Kobe and everything. Because he wasn't supposed to be selected until next year, but it was, I mean, without question, first ballot, unanimous. We don't really even have to talk about it too much because it's Kobe, like revolutionized, changed the game, transcended the game, just absolutely amazing. And to be honored, we definitely want to give credit to whom credit is due. Now, Eddy Kool, I got a question now because we didn't talk a lot. That's what we do. But
yes, what we do.
But what about them? What about them other people out there that want to chime in? You want what's this, our favorite time of the show? You want to take the train over?
Matter of fact, since you say it, hey button, hit it.
And now, our favorite part of the show, the choices of the voices.
Thank you once again to the wonderful and lovely Miss Button, to the introduction to the choices of the voices, and also shout out to B.Live for the interlude before the intro to the choices, what it's called a prelude. But hell, you get what I mean. I'm not a professional. I know what them ludes mean. You heard the one machine line. This is our favorite portion of the show. I apologize because I was trying to be spiffy and add a GIF or a GIF where Jordan is shooting that ball and turning into Super Saiyan. but something with the code and the text, it didn't work. But shout out to everybody that came through and left a comment, a talking point, if you will, to the choices of the voices. All right, B.Live, what was this week's question for this edition of the choices of the voices?
Nice. So, doing another little follow-up. A couple weeks before, we asked about your most memorable moment about Tom Brady. Well, this past week, we asked about another GOAT, greatest of all time. Your most memorable moment from the career of one Michael Jeffrey Jordan.
That's right, Michael Jeffrey Jordan. We got some responses, man. We even got some responses. And just to let you guys know, just because Scotty D ain't here, he's still working. We're going to hear what he got to say. And he also had some input on next week's question as well, too. The man's still working. Scotty D, chill, tranquilo, relax. But if you still want to be involved, man, we love you. We greatly appreciate it, man. We greatly appreciate it because you know we're going to hold you down. All right. Top priority. P1, Pete Talansky. Pete, I'm sorry about last week, brother. Okay, had a whole lot going on. I'm sorry about it. But like we said, like we told you, we're going to be top priority. His most memorable Michael Jordan moment was when he said, it's got to be the flu game versus Utah. This game proves to me why Michael Jordan is the greatest of all time. And here he goes in typical terrible Pete fashion. Baby Bron had a few cramps, and he couldn't handle it.
Just saying. And one thing about that flu game is just will and determination. And I'm gonna say this as well because I get tired of some people trying to quell and trying to put some dirt on this man's legacy, talking about, oh, he wasn't sick, he was hungover and da da da. From who? Who said that?
Yeah. If he was,
so what? either way, for him to be able to do that, I think it's even better if the man was drunk and hungover and he still was able to do what he did
and put the team on his back.
But man, that is definitely one of those that you if somebody didn't say that, then just shut the whole podcast down. Well, what are we even talking about anymore? But of course, that's definitely one for the ages. Like, you cannot deny that at all. So I'm definitely appreciative for that.
All right, so our man David Richardson, he said Jordan played while he got food poisoning. I'm drawing a blank. I don't remember that one because they played Utah in the finals twice, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Makes sense. Okay. Jordan played while he got food poisoning. It was a Utah game during the playoffs. He said, I don't remember when. He said he don't remember when, but it was a long time ago. I think it was either one of the go-rounds that played Utah. He said, here's the reason why he picked that moment. He says, I picked that moment because that's motivational for me to continue to make money or to keep going to school when I don't feel like it or don't feel great. I always look back at that moment as an example to keep on going, doing what you do. Okay. All right. I like that.
And I said I'm trying to pull up a little bit more on that game, and like I'm from what I'm reading, it looks like that those games are one and the same. The flu game, food poisoning game, like
hungover game.
Like it looks like that same.
Yeah, because I was like flu game, hungover, food poisoning. I'm like, ain't that one in the same?
I don't know, but again, one of those things that is memorable to say the least. The details behind it, who knows? But
not as much. But
the man wasn't 100% going into the game and still did what he did. So,
yeah, that's what goats do. And speaking of goats, we got Uncle Max. What's going on, man? Uncle Max back in the house once again. We missed you, man. He said, my greatest Jordan moment was when my kids were young and were watching Space. And he was watching Space Jam with them. Okay, I believe I can with that guy. Okay, that's cool. We all laughed while eating popcorn and being silly. He said, I know this is not some incredible sports moment, but it sure is one great memory. Because of this memory, I still love watching that movie till today. Space Jam. I mean, come on now. Space Jam.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan.
That right there, again, was one of those things where the celebrity becomes bigger than the sport. This man took 2 years off to go explore baseball, and they made a movie out of it.
Yeah.
They made it like it. While he's still playing, mind you, because the whole story behind Space Jam was the fact that he left basketball to play baseball, and this thing started happening. So they recruited him back into basketball through the Looney Tunes, blah blah blah. The whole, you watched the movie,
yeah.
But it just how his celebrity was just he was above it all. Like it just. Like everything that Michael Jordan touched turned into gold, and it was so well deserved because the man put in the work. He put in the work, and people hated Michael Jordan. On top of that, a lot of people that played against him, they speak of him being arrogant, cocky, just cutthroat, but he had that killer mentality, and just. For him to be able to do that on the court and then to turn around and give us one of them feel-good movies on top of that, and it's just there was nothing Michael Jordan couldn't do except for play baseball. But I'm just saying that was he tried it, but how awesome is that because he was such a celebrity and he such an icon on that level that he was able to fulfill a childhood dream after the fact to play baseball because of his success in basketball. Like that is
a lot. And I hate to cut you off, B-Live. Here's the thing about it: a lot of people don't even get the chance to fulfill one dream, let alone two.
Because if I'm not mistaken, if I remember correctly. Because he ended up retiring the first time after his father passed, if I'm not mistaken. And that was what prompted his move to play baseball, because that was something that him and his dad shared. Like his dad was an avid baseball fan, and Michael Jordan, growing up, that was his sport of choice, was actually baseball. But he was he's just so gifted and talented. He's like, hey, I could play them all. And basketball, he worked at it. He worked and worked and worked to the fact, like after he didn't make his freshman, he didn't make the team or something like that in high school or college, whatever. Only played 3 years in college, and like to be like who is this guy? And I actually can't wait for this documentary to come out, because they gave a little snippet about before this he was just Mike. After this he became Michael Jordan. I mean, that's iconic.
Yeah.
And to have your own movie and just who doesn't remember Space Jam? Like it was literally my favorite athlete and my favorite cartoon all into one. And
you get the best both worlds.
And then at the time, I was an R. Kelly fan too. Hey, and tell me you weren't. Don't be getting on here judging me.
I know. I know.
I want to say that to the listener out there. I want to be like, oh, R. Kelly. No, I don't care who you is. When R. Kelly was back in the day doing his thing, tell me, hey. And then, oh man, come on.
Yeah. You've done it. But to put the track back on the train, or train back on the track, either way to keep it going. So, Space Jam was an iconic movie as well too. I think that documentary was supposed to be released sometime this summer, but due to COVID-19 and nothing else going on, they're gonna bump it up to April 19th. So ESPN, it's gonna be a 10-part series. Ooh, wait, get your DVRs and pay your cable bill and get yourself together, because it's finna be good.
I'm definitely watching it.
Yep. All right, so we got Matty Ice. Matty Ice, did he hit us with a double-decker? I believe he did. Yes, I believe he did. He said, I got a twofer for you on this one. He said, because I'm sure people forgot about this, but it's a great Jordan moment for me. He said, Iverson breaking Jordan's ankles with his killer crossover posterized forever. That was a good one. All right, in part two, he said Jordan scoring 63 points on the Boston Celtics in the playoffs in a losing effort to Larry Bird, the legend. And he got swept in the series. Celtics go on to win the title. Yeah. And he scored 63 points and lost.
And that was one of those things where, again, they talk about the legend of Michael Jordan, and some people say this dumbness that, he wouldn't have done anything without Scottie Pippen. Well, great, granted, wonderful. But do you understand that in the 1980s, those teams that Michael Jordan faced in the 80s, them was some stupid teams between the Bad Boys of Detroit, the Boston Celtics with Larry Bird and Robert
Parrish, Karen McHale, not Karen, but Kevin McHale.
Come on, like those teams were dumb. And then if that was just getting through the East,
they
didn't even make it to face the Los Angeles Lakers in the West. So for people to say, come on now. Y'all doing the most right now. And during that time, Jordan was leading the league in scoring and all of that. He was doing his thing. Mm-hmm. Dude was nasty with it. It was just he was just running into juggernauts,
getting beat up, playing them Philly teams that will beat them. Hey, I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I'm gonna use my one cuss word pass. But Jordan got his ass beat a lot in the 80s.
Boy.
He was skinny. He was little. He got his ass beat a lot. Like B.Live mentioned, those doggone Detroit Pistons, Joe Dumars, Rick Mahorn, John Sally, Dennis Rodman. Yeah, that
Isaiah Thomas.
Isaiah
Bill
Thomas,
Laimbeer.
Yeah, Vinny Johnson coming off the bench.
That team was Detroit basketball.
Yeah,
man, the Bad Boys. That team was just ruthless. God Almighty. And so that right there, I think that also helped with that killer mentality that Jordan had, because he got beat up. He said, "All right. You know what? Y'all doing too much right now. Let me." And that just speaks into a little bit of Jordan's longevity, because people think that, he retired and came back. Like, Jordan still put in, 15, 16 years in the league. I think he came in the 83, the 82-83 season when he entered in, and he played all the way up to the 93-94 season. Then he took off 94, 95, 95, 96, and then or something. He took off. He won the championship 91, 92, 93. Won it in 96, 97, 98. So that's I get mixed up with those overlapping years and whatever. Y'all be all right, but that scoring 63 against the Boston Celtics and Larry Legend. That, you doing your thing. And so that's definitely one of those memorable moments. And that Celtics team won it all. If you're not going to win it all, please at least lose to the team that won it all. So
exactly. All right, so Matty Ice gave us a double decker. Appreciate that. Craig Burns, boy, he got a long one. Let me maximize my screen here. Here we go. Shout out to the participation, guys. We love it. This is the part of the show that we love. Button what line, and neither are we. Craig Burns says, I got to go with the young Michael Jordan 86 versus the Celtics. I think that's the same thing Martin Tracy went with. The Celtics won a mission that year. After they lost to the Lakers, they went 67-15 in the regular season, including going 40-1 at home. 40-1 at home.
Ridiculous.
40-1 at home, and you probably lost on accident. Okay. Oh, you know what? That one loss might have been. You know what, man? Just okay. We're in the playoffs. Whatever. Just rest. Do whatever you want to do. All right. Their first round matchup was against the Bulls, who went 30-52 in the regular season. You could be that bad and get to the playoffs. I don't know if it. Well, anyways, according to Craig Burns,
No,
30 and 52.
that sounds right though. I think I remember reading about that because then he opines on the fact that Jordan broke his foot in the third game of that season and was out for the majority of that season. I think I remember.
Yes. Yep, you're right. Yep, and he returned to help the Bulls squeak into the playoffs. In one game, he scored 39 points in a loss that was much closer. That was most closer game than expected. He proceeded to top it off with a 63-point effort that Matty Ice mentioned early in a double overtime loss. Okay, even though the Celtics won both games, Jordan stole the show and had everyone in Boston a bit nervous, a bit on edge. Oh Lord, we scared. Jordan didn't look fazed or intimidated at all by one of the best Celtic teams of all time. I personally I've never seen athleticism like that. The legend of Air Jordan was born in that series for me.
Oh yeah, that was the beginning. He gave him like a sneak peek of years to come, and so it was again like we were alluded to before. It's just the Bulls had no chance whatsoever, according to the sports bettors and the experts and the analysts. They had no chance, had no business being there. Michael Jordan said, all right, okay, you say we ain't supposed to be here. All right, bet.
Watch this.
Hold my beer. You know, so yeah, this definitely goes into the legend that is MJ, his airness.
Think 30 and 52 to squeak into the playoffs. Wow. Can't do that now.
You still have some sub 500 teams, but yeah, 30 and 52. That means the rest of the league was terrible.
Garbage. Hot garbage and Hassenfeller. Oh, that's the name of the day's show.
Nice.
Yeah, think about it. 30 and 50. Let me see. Okay, so I'm looking at the record. It was 30 and 52. Barely 300, and they lost the first round against the Celtics. I would like to see. Let me see. I would like to see that. I would like to see the season standings. Yeah, I would like to see how bad the East was for them to get into. Okay, you had to play 82 games. Okay, so that year, the Celtics, the Bucks, the 76ers, the Atlanta Hawks, the Pistons, the Bullets, the Nets, and the Bulls made it to the playoffs. The three teams that the Bulls superseded that passed were the 23 and 59 Knicks, the 26 and 56 Pacers, and the 29 and 53 Cavaliers.
And we'll see, here's one thing that makes sense now about that 30 and 52. They squeaked in by one game, mind you, over the Cavaliers.
Mm-hmm.
But what makes sense is because there was only 11 teams in the Eastern Conference as opposed to 16 teams now.
Yeah.
So now I mean, it's just one of those things where it was top heavy, but you still had the same amount of teams that made it in. So
yeah, and so you had the Bullets and the Nets and the Bulls all getting in with sub 500 records.
Yeah.
Out of the teams coming out of the East that year in the playoffs, they had the worst win percentage at 366. It was bad. All right, moving right along. Let's see. Craig Burns, man, that was a real long one. Scotty D. Before we go any further, Scotty D. That's right, Scotty D. We got you. He sent me a message. Said, Eddy Kool, this is what I got, and tell the people. All right, Scotty D said the buzzer beater versus the Cavs in the playoffs. He said it set the standard of Jordan beginning to become a complete player instead of just known for his flashy dunks and his sneakers.
Oh yeah, I mean the Craig Elo.
Yeah, shot against Craig Elo, falling, flailing Elo.
And was that a fist pump as well?
Yeah, that was the fist pump. That was in Richfield, Ohio. Quick little story: the Cavs never always played their games in the city. They played it in a suburb of Richfield, Ohio. And yep, Richfield, Ohio. Mm-hmm. They beat them.
So, oh yeah, that's again like that highlight you continue to see for the rest of all time. So, yeah, I mean that was, whew, I almost don't even want to answer because these are just there's so many to answer, but it's one of those things that our listeners, the voices this week definitely came with the big ones.
Oh yeah, they came with it.
But I got a big one too, though.
What you got, B.Live?
I think I got a big one because everybody went with his professional career. Nobody mentioned his collegiate career.
Not a single one mentioned it.
But I have. Ha ha. Man, come on. And I'm gonna say this because I wasn't alive when it happened, but I've seen the game over and over and over again because this was like, again, this skinny little kid playing for the University of North Carolina and playing the mighty Georgetown Hoyas, if I'm not mistaken. I think that was a Patrick Ewing on that team at the time.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
But also on that team that Michael Jordan was on he wasn't the best player on that team at the time. Because that was James Worthy that was on that team. That was the leader of that team.
Yep. But
yeah, like this was before the 3-point line and all of that. A little short, it was like I think I want to say it was like a 17-footer, but the calm and the poise that he had when he hit that game winner against Georgetown, it pretty much solidified what we all knew was what was coming. Just his entire career I think honestly with me, his entire career began with that shot against Georgetown. That right there, that guy's going to be great. And he did not disappoint. And so it was one of those things where just, like I say, it was just calm, poised, like he'd been doing it forever. And
he made it happen.
So that game winner against Georgetown is something, like I said, I wasn't alive when it happened, but when I saw it and just knowing the everything behind it, because if I'm not mistaken, Georgetown was favored in that game, if I'm not mistaken, but just a simple fact that just Georgetown was a perennial powerhouse as well. But just like I said, the calm, the poise, and that was, I believe, was the beginning of Michael Jeffrey Jordan. Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. Hey, the top them talk on Georgetown Hoyas, the boys was tough. That was tough. Let's see, man. I got a couple moments. I call it Jordan being Jordan. So there was an all-star game where they were sitting in the back getting taped up. And, it's just kind of had a peek behind the curtain going into the locker room. And, you got players back talking trash. You got Jordan on one table, Mutombo over here, and I forgot Shaq over here somewhere. And Mutombo's like, "Here, you never dunk on me. You never do it to me." He's like, "I ain't never dunk on you. I ain't never dunk on you. Never. I never dunk on you. Nope. And you never won't. You never will." So, in the words of B.Live, what happened? He did it to him. Okay? Which goes to show you can talk all the trash you want to, but Michael Jordan, he gonna get you. And this doesn't end the whole rivalry routine between him and Mutombo. There was one time where Jordan was at the free throw line, getting ready to shoot a free throw shot. He said, "Mutombo, it's for you, baby." Closes his eyes and makes the free throw. Ultimate Jordan.
Oh, yeah.
Ultimate Jordan. Like, who does that now? Hit it, Keith. Nobody. Not a single soul. And that's what Michael Jordan did. Like, oh, you mean to tell me that that I can't? Okay. Watch this. Now, to go out there and, hey, bounce the ball. Matter of fact, it was on the ESPN feed a few days ago. He bounced the ball. He's like, "Hey, Mutombo, watch this." And sinks it. So, yeah, the rivalry between Jordan and Mutombo was fun. So that's one of my that's one of my most favorite memories between Michael Jordan, because he had his rivals too, man. Because what was it? Him and Isaiah Thomas had a rivalry.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Yeah, they had a rivalry, man. And it was just, a lot of people was just Jordan, man. Jordan. Michael Jeffrey Jordan was that dude. All right, with that being said, we want to give a shout out to Pete, David, Uncle Max, Matty Ice, Craig Burns, and the money man, Scotty D, for being with us on this edition of the Choices of the Voices. But before we go, Scotty D did send in a question. In light of everything that's going on with the cancellation of events due to COVID-19, the question for next week's Choices of the Voices is, what event would you hate to see canceled more than any other?
And with the exception, we all know we were going to answer the Super Bowl.
Yeah, except the damn Super Bowl.
Except the Super Bowl. We get it. Everybody's going to mention the Super Bowl. But we want you to think outside the box. The Super Bowl will be played. But besides that, and I'm gonna do everybody another solid. This is just for me. This is my personal. I am not going to pick college football playoffs. I'm gonna do everybody a solid. You can pick it if you want to.
But you're not going to do it.
I'm not going to do it because y'all know where I would go with it. Y'all know where my heart is. You know I bleed orange. And at the end of the day, at some point in time in the podcast, hashtag all roads lead to Dabo. Yes, sir.
So what's this I hear about somebody called him the Tiger King and he didn't like it?
No. This is what happened. No, check this out. This is your fan base, by the way, Eddy Kool. This is your fan base. I think is he Mike Bobo? Is he your offensive coordinator?
Yeah, he's still a Bobo. Though.
Yeah, Mike Bobo, the South Carolina Gamecocks offensive coordinator,
former UGA quarterback Mike Bobo.
He expressed on Twitter that Dabo Swinney is the real Tiger King.
Mike Bobo, you finna get us killed.
Check and peep this out. Gamecock fans all across South Carolina, because that's all I know. Nobody is a Gamecock fan outside.
They ever well. They ever well. Watch your mouth.
Yeah.
They ever well.
Anyway,
you want to be.
But yeah, they is they're up in arms. Oh, how you refer to Dabo Swinney? Da da da. Are you a fan of his? Da da da. Okay, first of all, for any of y'all that has watched the Tiger King documentary, and I'm gonna say this real quick. I tried it again, and I cut it clean, smooth off again. And I'm going to repeat this on the podcast. I posted on Facebook. I'm going to say this. For any of y'all, including you, Eddy Kool, that enjoyed the Tiger King, you are all psychopaths, and you need to check yourself into the nearest mental facility immediately.
I got a therapy session tomorrow, so I'm
okay.
good.
All right. Y'all psychos. What is wrong with y'all? So with that being said, the whole Gamecock Nation was up in arms because Mike Bobo referred to Dabo Swinney as the real Tiger King. Being called the Tiger King is not a compliment. It's not even close to me. Have you seen this dude? Have you seen his two husbands? One of them has 3 teeth.
And no shirt.
For no reason. For no reason. So nobody saw the joke. It was a dig at Dabo Swinney that nobody understood. Oh my God, he loves Dabo. No, idiot. He was trying to make a joke, and y'all didn't. You're thick-headed. You're dumb.
You're dumb.
God. But yeah, that's just. I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna leave it at that. And that's my pepper point. I'm gonna start off right there. Shoot.
That damn Carol Baskin. No, but anyway. All right, as B.Live mentioned, oh man, I'm gonna have to give myself the go home cue. This is gonna be a long editing process, but guess what? I got this here. Well, all right, as B.Live mentioned, I'm finna give myself the go home cue. We running late, but who cares? We ain't got nothing else to do anyway. So we gonna run into Pepper. 3 points about sports. and what happened back when, and to carry on the tradition of what I did last week, I will give you this day in sports. And B.Live will just give you some cool pepper points that he probably just looked up during the show. But I digress. Things happen.
Hey,
all right.
it does happen, just to let y'all know. Sometimes I'm prepared, sometimes I'm not. Don't judge me.
Spoiler alert, and we done told y'all from day one we ain't no professionals. Just because I got a degree don't mean nothing, all right? that mean, look at my face. I might have some qualifications, which I do. All right, so this day in history in 2014, speaking of March Madness, this would usually be that time of the year where it's championship week, baby. Who we gonna win? Who gonna do this? Who gonna do that? Who we picking? Well, in 2014, Connecticut beat Kentucky 60-54 behind a 22-point performance from Shabazz Napier. Where is he at? As the Huskies win their 4th national title on this day in 2014. B.Live, the ball.
All right. So this gonna be my second pepper point, but this right here is funny to me. You know, I've been mentioning about the NASCAR iRacing, NASCAR iRacing Pro Invitational Series. All right.
Yep.
I missed it this week. I missed it. I do apologize. I don't watch NASCAR like that live, so I think I'm gonna watch it. It's interesting, but I didn't miss it. But I just happened to stumble on a story that just brings it all the way back home. So as I've been telling you, they're doing this is e-racing. It's a simulation. Yeah. But this anger is real. Man, my man Bubba Wallace. He was one of the 32 drivers competing in the Food City Showdown at a virtual Bristol Motor Speedway on Sunday. But he did not have a good day. He wrecked during the 11th lap of the 150 lap race. Yeah, he didn't make it too far. But with e-racing, you have 2 times where you can actually just restart your whole car. Like you can come back in with a brand new car, but it's whatever. But he was involved in a messy sequence with Clint Boyer early in the race when Clint Boyer cut in front of Wallace's car on the straightaway and ended up putting Bubba Wallace into a wall. It's realistic though. It's realistic. But what happened after that is classic. I love it. And while Boyer ultimately spun out scene peeved about Wallace's actions, Bubba was clearly more annoyed. He quickly decided he'd had enough and quit the race in a fit of anger.
How old is he? 5?
For anybody knows anything about online video gaming, he rage quit. He said, "Screw this." He said, and I quote, "Y'all have a good one. That's it. This is why I don't take this beep serious."
Oh,
said Wallace on his Twitch stream immediately after the wreck, and he finishes off the quote saying, "Peace out."
How old are you? 5? He's 10.
He disconnected. Oh my goodness. If you've ever played Madden online and you said, or you played NBA 2K something, and it says your opponent has left the match, it's like this is the NASCAR equivalent. He
Wow.
He said, "I'm out." Oh, that is funny to me. Eddy Kool, the ball.
All right. B.Live, you may remember this here second pepper point. On this day in 2003. Matter of fact, I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why after I tell you. On this day in 2003, Carmelo Anthony led Syracuse to their first national title by beating Kansas 81-78. B-Live, I'm going to tell you why I remember this. I remember it was on a Monday because it was during the spring, back on Myrtle Beach. That was the kickoff to Sin Night at the House of Blues.
Wow. I do remember that. Great. Good Lord from everything. Yeah.
Corner three, and he won it. Yup. Carmelo, yup. Mm-hmm.
Wow. That memories. Yes, sir.
Yes. Like the corner of my mind. That's why it's so vivid. Because as soon as I saw it, and I was like, oh, I knew where this was. I knew where I was at, what was going on, what I had to drink, what color shoes I was wearing. Oh, I remember everything. But in the night, not as much. But that very moment, I remembered it.
Man, oh, man. Oh, Plantation Pancake House. Yeah. Oh, all right.
Ooh, I'm hungry.
Let me bring it back home. Let me get that ball real quick. Let me get it.
Oh, be like, just take the ball because I almost dropped it.
All right. This my third and final pepper point goes out to Oregon and Sabrina Ionescu. She completes a sweep of major honors with the John R. Wooden Award that goes to the nation's most outstanding player. It's pretty much unanimous. She's won it in back-to-back seasons. She is the only person in college basketball history, and let me say this again, person, not just female, person, to accumulate at least 2,000 points, 1,000 assists, and 1,000 rebounds. Let me see if I can bring that back for you real quick. Nobody.
Hold on. Wait a minute. Hold on. Hit it, Keith.
Nobody. Nobody has done that. So that is just unheard of. She had 8 triple doubles in the season. That extends her NCAA career record to 26. No other player had more than 12. Like, she was Miss Everything. And so I just want to give a quick shout out to her and what she has done for the sport of women's basketball and for her success for years and years to come. Eddy Kool, finish it off.
All right, and the ball. Thank you. And on this day in 1977, well, not that far back, but on this day in 1977, the Toronto Blue Jays, they play their first game as an expansion franchise. Bet you didn't know that, did you?
I did not.
Yeah. I was like, let me pull this one out here. 1977, they played their first game as a professional baseball franchise. And guess what? They beat the Chicago White Sox 9-5.
Nice.
And they would later go on to win not one, but 2 World Series championships in the early 90s. So, yeah, the baby Blue Jays, all grown up now. B.Live, the ball.
I already threw my pepper out there. I'm done. I don't want the ball no more.
Oh, he burnt one.
B.Live has left the match. I'm taking my ball and I'm going home.
Oh man, I actually did it. That was funny. Well, that about does it for another action-packed edition of the Sports Bros Podcast, episode 54. We gave you a lot, and we hope you love it because it is quarantine season. Even though it's spring in some parts of the country, first of all, we hope and pray that everyone is taking care of themselves. Practice social distancing. Stay home. Don't be hitting nobody telling them what's the move for the night or come get me. No, stay your butt home. All right, just stay home.
The more people stay home, the sooner we can get out the house. Because some of us ain't gonna make it.
Yeah. Oh my God. Oh Lord. Some of us ain't gonna make it. We gonna go stir crazy.
trying to day, bro. I got the oh man, but just like I'm a man Eddy Kool saying, hey, we're gonna get through this together to all of our listeners and everything. just hit us up at any point in time. If you need to talk to somebody, we can hit a FaceTime up. Like I said, check us out on our Instagram, Sports Bros Podcast. Hit us up on IG Live this coming Thursday at 6 o'clock. Let's just talk. Let's talk our way through this.
Yeah.
Let's enjoy each other through all of this technology that we've been blessed with. Because, man, if this was 20 years ago, all we had was the Strongbox Nokia, and had to hit number three times to get the letter F.
Yeah. Oh man, I remember the early days of text. I'm like, so what you doing? Like, technology has come so far. So far. Yeah, but I'll tell them where else they can reach us at.
Well, yeah, check us out. I've actually been working on a couple things. Our episode 53 is available on YouTube as well, on our YouTube page, Sports Bros Podcast. So just gives another option for you to hear us out. We want you to continue to listen to us through our podcast streaming platforms, because that's how we build a platform, and that's how we grow our brand. Mm-hmm. But we also want to make it a little bit more visible to the public. Hopefully one day that we'll be able to move forward and start doing our live video streaming like we did our one episode last year. That was a pleasure to do. So hopefully we can do it from our remote locations. We're working on that right now, and the way that we work on that also is through help with donations, because the software is not free.
Nope.
In order for us to do that, so we're working on that. And if you want to help us out in that regard, we wouldn't be mad at you at all.
Nope, not at all.
Just hit us up via email, sportsbrospcast@gmail.com. Continue to follow us, like us on our Facebook like page, and continue to share our content, because the best way to expand our brand is through our listeners, through our family, our Sports Bros family. So we definitely appreciate it. Again, your boy B.Live. You can hit me up on Instagram, Twitter. Both of them will be This Be Your Boy B.Live. No I at the beginning. THSBEYABOYBLIVE. Yes, sir.
All right.
Did I miss anything?
No, I believe you got it all. And you can check me out, Eddy Kool, the HOC, the head of creative. I don't know. I might drop another one of those rap chats. You know, I had fun doing that. Just I might drop another rap chat. So stay tuned. I might have a little 1-minute song coming out soon. Quarantine Files Volume 2, audio exercise. I might be doing that. You catch me on Facebook at Eddy Kool. Cool Season on Instagram, on Twitter, the real Eddy Kool. If you do Snapchat or Snapchat, as the old folks say, Super Cool 5000, and on all the Sports Bros podcast platforms, I'm there like bad breath in the morning. And our co-host Scotty D, you can check him out on Facebook. Scott Donnelly, Money Man, Scotty D. Ain't doing trivia. You know why ain't no trivia going on, because they don't want no gatherings of 15, 25, 100 people or more. So, like we said, man, stay home, practice social distancing. Shout out to the first responders, the essentials. Thank y'all. And do them a favor, too, and stay your butt home, all right? They really want you to stay home. As B.Live said, you can check us out on Instagram, 6 p.m. Thursday, Sports Bros Live. Ask us questions, ask us comment, ask us questions, do all that. I came and talk, but you get it. So come through, show love, everybody, if you can. Who knows, B.Live? We might have to work on going on live on YouTube as well, too.
Yeah. We do have some options. Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's great to have options. All right. And then closing, do something nice for yourself. And if you can, especially these times, Lord, more than ever, do something nice for someone else. They'll greatly appreciate it. It's been another episode of the Sports Bros Podcast.
Yes, sir.
Bye. And the list, if I can pull it up, I'm going to cut that out. Because I'm an Editing Wiz. I'm a bad mother. You know what it is. Where that. I'm bad.
Dumb.
I'm bad.
I'm over there.
Get out the way. I'm bad.
Ain't got no beat or nothing. I'm over there. Hey.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I know I need to go now. I totally effed that up.